Hello, my name is Nanami Aiko. This is my first proper YouTube video. I've done like an intro and everything, but I thought I'd come on here and do a little bit of a Sims speed build and showing off making my own Simsona. I did this on stream the other night, but it's sped up a little bit just so that it doesn't take like an hour and a half, because that's how long it ended up taking me. I play with a lot of modded gameplay. I like to replace pretty much all of the EA defaults because I love EA, I love the way they do on The Sims, but a lot of the defaults don't look great. They're improving a lot, but I don't love them. So I just started out by just kind of messing with, I always mess with skin details a lot, and I wanted to make sure the hair matched my VTubing avatar, because this is meant to be, you know, me. I got stuck into likes and dislikes for quite a while as well, because that's something that happened with the newest pack, I believe. So what I was doing was I was trying to play the Dream Home Decorator career, and they added likes and dislikes to kind of coincide with that. So I took forever, and I kind of just went through all of them because I was very excited about that being an option. I did speed through a lot of the outfits. I had a lot of fun picking out my default and my formal looks. I know that I really sped through making the sporty and sleep outfits because I really, really do not enjoy those. They're not a category I enjoy doing, honestly. I do love how here where I'm starting out with the formal outfit, she defaults to wearing a mask. Very COVID safe. And then, so some of the new Dream Home Decorator outfits I thought were really interesting. The first one I had there gave me very Janet from The Good Place vibes, and then there was a lot of like, I really don't like that jumpsuit at all, but the dress she ended up with I really, really enjoy. I love that this isn't too recent with The Sims, but we got a saturation and a couple little sliders for the makeup, which is such a godsend, because it can be really hard. Like, a lot of the default makeup for The Sims is gorgeous, but it's super bright, which is not ideal when, you know, you're just wanting to make like a casual look or something like that. Like, a lot of mine are fairly casual, and I don't want to make them too bright, because even in real life, I don't wear all that much makeup. Also, I really don't like how it often defaults to a hat or something like that. It's like, fair enough, they've gotta, you know, give you Sim a default outfit somehow, but they never look good. I almost always end up changing the defaults that they give me. And then we're going to move along into the speed build. So I went with a fairly basic EA house. Just one of the... I don't actually remember which suburb I put it into, but just one of the basic builds that they did. I did it unfurnished, and I lit it up like crazy because I don't like the look of a Sims house that isn't very well lit. I went through and I kind of customized the front a little bit. I almost always go with a basic EA build and then just change the colours quite a lot. You'll see me using the colour picker like crazy because that's how I play. I kind of just colour pick and go, what have the Sim team done here? And what can I do that looks a lot better than that? I tried to use as many items from the new pack as I could, but at times I had a hard time finding them in the menus. Like you can see, I was trying to mess with some of the new beds, and it really, I don't know, it worked out in the end, but it took some going. And same thing with kind of the shelving and everything like that. Definitely took some going. And with colours as well, I went with fairly simplistic for this build. I wasn't really intending on doing anything flash. I didn't even intend for it to take as long as it did, but I kind of... Building and customizing characters are the most fun parts of The Sims to me. So it gets really difficult because I'll go, oh yeah, I'll play the new pack on stream, and then realize I need to make a new character or something like that, and then like an hour later I'll be like, oh yeah, the new pack, I was gonna do that. I did have quite a lot of fun with, I think this is the kitchen, yeah, and I had a lot of fun with this because some of the new items, like you can see the little stovetop, you can place that on pretty much any counter now, which is so helpful because like, this is a great example. It's a fairly tiny build for a kitchen at least. It can be really, really difficult to try and get like dining and, you know, fridge and everything like that into a kitchen all at once. So I found that sort of thing really helpful. And the sectionals, they look so good. I'm so happy with a lot of the new items. Yeah, I had a hard time fitting them all in, especially in that kind of front room because it's very, very, very small build. But I enjoy what I came up with in the end. I went with a lot of very light and airy colors because I don't know. I always play around with like different things for different builds. So my next build might be a bit darker or more colorful, but I generally like I pick a color palette and I kind of stick to it. It can be difficult sometimes because I'll pick a particular color palette and halfway through I'll be like, I hate this. But I quite like the house I ended up with here, to be honest. Like, I'm really happy with it. Oh yeah, and that's where I had some sound issues. This is the fun thing about being a sped up recording of my own live stream is I kind of know, oh, you know, this is when I did this is when I did that. I had someone come in and go, hey, we can barely hear the game, or we can barely hear you, or something to that extent, so I was changing that around a little bit. And I had issues with a couple of the things like counters and things like that. I get really frustrated when I can't place them the way I want to. I didn't want to change the build, but at the same time I was like, I just want it to look even. I almost gave my sim a gamer chair there. That would have been ironic for a VTuber, I think. Oh yeah, and that's where I found I found some of the new cabinets finally after like an hour and a half of playing. They're not, you can search by pack, but I don't like doing that because I like scrolling through and thinking, you know, what do I need to put in here, or what don't I need to put in this room. But this time around, I probably should have searched by pack because I was trying to use the new items and I couldn't find a lot of them. It was really frustrating, to be honest. But I got there in the end. And I know what I'm trying to do here. I'm trying to build a little kind of study slash streaming setup because, again, she's meant to be a Simsona, and this is kind of how I've got my house set up in real life. And the reading nook. I always get very excited about these in real life. So what I was trying to do is I was trying to get that window, and I think you can go in with like full edit or one of those little kind of hack type things and like place pillows and things like that on that windowsill, but I didn't want to, you know, entirely go into the cheats just for one thing. So I ended up rearranging the room a little bit just to get that kind of reading nook the way I want it. It took a little bit of going, but I am quite happy with how it looks, and I'm pretty sure my sim could actually use it, because that's another thing with the Sims, is if you place things certain ways, they can't actually use them, which is the most frustrating thing on earth. And now I'm trying to decorate a little hallway and a bit of the outside as well. I was experimenting with making things bigger and smaller, and it didn't quite work, but I'm happy with it nonetheless. And there's a lot of, you'll see moments of like, I found an item and I know where I want to put it, but I'm just like thinking about, do I put it here or do I just leave it out here until I get to this part? Like, I think there was one little flower bed that I left outside until right at the end where I actually moved it somewhere that made sense. Oh yeah, and I ended up with quite a few plushies in the bedroom because I always scroll through the clutter. I love clutter items in The Sims. It just makes The Sims feel more realistic, and I found the bear that you saw me place earlier, and then a little bit later on when I'm messing with, yeah, there we go, that little bunny dude. I found that little bunny guy and another similar looking like plush toy, and I was just like, those are so cute, I have to mess around with them. And so here I'm just messing around with the backyard a little bit. I always give my Sims, well, almost always give my Sims a barbecue and some little backyard items. It doesn't really make sense to me to not do that sort of thing. And my least favourite part is the landscaping. This kind of, I was trying to place some items here for ages and ages because I was trying to make it look nice. I struggle so much with the outside of a building, especially like bushes. Oh, gotta have a pride flag because June. And this is more of experimenting with the making things bigger and smaller. I wanted this to look cohesive, like it was one plant that kind of branched out a little bit, but I didn't quite get it the way I wanted, and it kind of blocked the windows a little bit, which annoyed me. It still does, but, you know, is what it is. Yeah, there we go. That's how I had it in the end, is just trying desperately to have bushes and everything to make it look good. It's not an easy task. And yeah, this is the other part I'm not particularly good at, is landscaping with like the actual build tools that the Sims team give us, with like pathing and all these little things. I don't know how to make it look decent, but I tried. I really tried. And I think it at least looks natural. Well, not right now, but it will in a minute, I swear. Yeah, there we go. That looks a little bit more natural. And then the other thing I was trying to do was place different trees around. And this is another thing I struggle with, because tree sizes, like look at that one that just went past. Some of them are so arbitrary. I got stuck on these little plant boxes because one of my first Sim Legacy challenges that I ever played on my own had those planter boxes, was the Build New Crest challenge, and I'm still a little bit bummed that I lost that save file because I would kill to show you guys. Like, I only got one generation in, man. I'm still so upset. I lost it when I transferred PCs and I'm not happy. And this is me just trying to place things around the backyard, make it look more natural and all of that. And so from here, what I was going to do was move on to actual gameplay, but I found out that the new career was bugged. So instead, I'm just going to have a final little show of what my sim looks like in CAS, and then also a show of the build itself. So this is her basic outfit. I went with the Aromantic Pride shirt, because why not? And some aliens, because we've got to have our space in there, of course. Yeah, I went for a very, very basic look, very simple colours. The formal outfit I really love. I love that dress, it's one of the new ones. I love it so much. And then very simple makeup. Again, I'm in love with the saturation feature because I always try and go pretty natural with my Sims. If I'm going outrageous, it's usually for a reason. Like I'm making a Sim that's very, very outrageous. Sporty and sleep are pretty meh categories to me. I never really do a lot with them. And then we've got our party kind of outfit. Again, very casual. I tried to stick to a set colour palette. And then yeah, swimwear. Again, same thing. I didn't want to play with that one too long being on Twitch because, you know, some of those might get me taken down. This outfit I struggled for so long actually, because there was a version of that particular jumpsuit that just made my character look like a minion, but she looked so cute. So I eventually went with the pink and green. And then we've got winter. And we've got our aspirations. I was trying to go with the kind of aspirations that I would have in real life, so friend of the world I think fits fairly well. So that's her. And this is the house. I'm just gonna go quickly through, just kind of showing you the outside in particular. I wanted to film more of an overview because I know that the speed build itself, I mean, it's like an hour-long stream cut down to under 15 minutes in all, so, you know, I wanted to actually have a proper look of the house and see what I did. To be honest, the more I look at the outside landscaping, like the only thing that really bothers me is that kind of front pathing bit. And yes, we've got to have our pride flag. I always forget that they've got like default pride items because again, I have so many mods that I'm just scrolling through like, oh yeah, that one's oh wait, I didn't download that one. EA was actually nice for once. And we've got our front little room, we've got our bedroom. I really like the bedroom despite the colours being a little bit different to everything else in the house. It's a lot more kind of brown leaning, whereas everything else in the house is white. I've got our nice little kitchen and our little study area. God, I love how they turned out in the end. They're very, very cute. I love just the thought of curling up at a reading nook like that and just like watching. It's the only time, I think I said this on stream actually, the one time I would want it to rain. And that is our house with the bathroom included. That is the one time I'd want something to rain, is that kind of setup where you're reading. Anyway, that was my first little Sim speed build. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in more content like this, feel free to like and subscribe for more. I'll most likely edit most of my Sim streams into speed builds if they are building content, because I really enjoy this little format of just getting to kind of talk over a quick little build of mine. But yeah, thank you again so much for watching!